Good morning, students. Today we will read the chapter The Last Lesson. This chapter is written by Alphonse Daudet. Now we will read about the author. Alphonse Daudet is among the most durable of the literary figures of France in the last half of the 19th century, as well as one of the most prolific of his generation. His poetic approach to realism made him universally popular. Unlike his contemporaries, he wrote with the sympathy and a cautious optimism that produced an appealing tenderness without recourse to mawkish sentimentality. Critics who find his prose difficult to define have termed him variously a realist, a naturalist, an impressionist, and an independent. Daudet himself professed to follow no school, maintaining that all such inflexibility is absurd. Introduction of the chapter. The last lesson, written by Alphonse Daudet, narrates about the year 1870 when the Persian forces under Bismarck attacked and captured France. The French districts of Alsace and Lorraine went into Persian hands. The new Persian rulers discontinued the teaching of French in the schools of these two districts. The French teachers were asked to leave. Now M. Hamel could no longer stay in the old school. Still, he gave the last lesson to his students with the utmost devotion and sincerity as ever. One such student of M. Hamel, friends who dreaded French classes, and M. Hamel's iron rod came to the school that day, thinking he would be punished as he had not learnt his lesson on participles. But on reaching school, he found Hamel dressed in his fine Sunday clothes and the old people of the village sitting quietly on the back benches. It was due to an order from Berlin. That was the first day when he realized for the first time that how important French was for him, but it was his last lesson in French. The story depicts the pathos of the whole situation, about how people feel when they don't learn their own language. It tells us about the significance of one's language in one's life for the very existence of a race, and how important it is to safeguard it. Settings. The last lesson is set in the days of the Franco-Persian War, in which France was defeated by Persia led by Bismarck. In this story, the French districts of Alsace and Lorraine have passed into Persian hands. Theme. The last lesson revolves around the language and its importance to the citizens of a country. It is the duty of every citizen to safeguard the language of the country as it is the identity of that country. The lesson depicts how, after defeating France in the war, the Persian wanted to rule over not only the territory of France but also over the minds and hearts of the people. The story reinforces the fact that we value something more when it is lost. The pain and anguish of the students and the teacher is evident as everyone realizes how things were taken for granted. The lesson emphasizes the importance of the mother tongue for everyone and the need to realize the fact that it is our language which gives us our identity, respect, and freedom. Characters and places in the lesson. Friends. A school student. M. Hamel, a teacher of French language. Class consists of some students and some elderly people of the village. Watcher, a blacksmith. Old hawser, an elderly villager. Sister of M. Hamel. School, an elementary school in District Alsace in France. Now we will read the chapter. The narrator, friends, started school very late that morning. He feared M. Hamel. He would question the students on participles. The narrator did not know even the first word about them. He feared a scolding. He thought of running away and spending the day out of doors. The weather was very warm and bright, but he decided otherwise and hurried off to school. As friends passed the town hall, he saw a big crowd in front of the bulletin board. For the last 2 years, all the bad news had come from there. The people got the news of the lost battles and other important information only from there. Usually, when the school began, there was a lot of hustle and bustle. The opening and closing of desks and lessons orally repeated in unison, creating a lot of commotion. But now it was all so still. He could depend on the commotion to get to his desk without being noticed. But now he went in before everybody. He blushed and was quite frightened, but nothing happened, no punishment. M. Hamel saw him and asked very kindly to take his seat. M. Hamel was in clothes that he wore only on inspection and prize days. The whole school seemed too strange and silent, but the most surprising thing was the presence of the village elders sitting quietly on the back benches. M. Hamel mounted his chair and spoke in a grave and gentle tone. My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. He told them that an order had come from Berlin. Only German would be taught in the schools of Alice and Lorraine. The news master would come the next day. It was their last French lesson. He wanted them to be very attentive. The narrator felt sorry for not learning his lessons in French. He never liked his books. He did not have any interest in grammar and history, but now he developed a fascination for them. Even he started liking M. Hamel. The idea that he would not teach them anymore made friends forget all about his ruler. He even forgot how cranky his teacher was. Now it was his turn to recite. But he got mixed up and confused. M. Hamel did not scold him. M. Hamel showed his concern that people of Alice generally gave no importance to French. They put off learning their own native language. French was not only the culprit, many others also shared the same fate. He declared that the French language was the most beautiful language in the world. It was the clearest and most logical. They must guard it among themselves and never forget it. It appeared that M. Hamel wanted to give them all he knew before going away. All at once the church clock struck 12. The trumpet of the Persian soldiers sounded under their windows. M. Hamel stood up very pale in his chair. He tried to speak, but something choked him. He could not speak. Then he turned to the blackboard. He took a piece of chalk and wrote as large as he could, Long live France. Then, without a word, he made a gesture to them with his hand. School is dismissed. You may go. Now we will do the word meanings. So first word is sawmill, a factory for cutting wood. Next word is drilling. It means exercising. Next word is a great bustle. It means a lot of noise created by many people in unison at the same time. Rapping. It means striking. Next word is counted on. It means depended on or depended upon. Next word is commotion. It means noise and confusion. Next word is grave. It means seriousness. Next word is primer. It means basic reader of any language. Next word is Saar, a river which passes through France. Next word is gesture. It means a signal. Next word is choked. It means became unable to speak. Last word is trumpets. It means a musical instrument. So this is the end of the lecture. So read this chapter at home, and if you have any problem, you just comment. So we will meet soon with the next video. Stay at home, stay healthy.